We are from Group 5 from Community Service for Planetary Health in Sunway University. In this video, we'll talk about the report on the Community Service project that we undertook in the past 3 weeks at the Homesland Animal Shelter. This is the role distribution within our team in this project. First up, we have the volunteers. They visited the animal shelter and provided hands-on assistance. Next, we have the fundraiser. They're responsible for generating the financial resources to support this project. Next up, we have the editors. They make and edit the slides for this presentation as well as the poster for the fundraising. Last but not least, we have our presenters who are responsible for delivering presentations about this project. This is the list of our team. On top here, we have our leader, Li Qisheng, and at the bottom, we have our 12 members and their roles in this project. This is a brief overview of the animal shelter that we worked with. It is called the Homesland Animal Shelter. It was founded by Mr. Leong and Mr. Yip about a year ago. It is also known as the Dog's Heaven and is a non-profit organization that provides a safe and loving environment for stray, abandoned, and abused dogs. Let's talk about the issues faced by the animal shelter. These issues can have a significant impact on the lives of the dogs and the staff working at the shelter. The shelter operates on a limited budget. The cost of food, medication, and medical care can quickly add up, leaving the shelter struggling to provide for the dogs and their care. Secondly, hygiene is a critical issue in the shelter. It is essential to maintain a clean and healthy environment for the dogs to live in, but this can be a challenge in this setting because overcrowding, lack of proper cleaning supplies, and limited staff can contribute to the buildup of waste and other unsanitary conditions. Finally, the lack of manpower is another issue faced by the animal shelter. They rely on volunteers and a small number of staff to care for a large number of dogs. This results in a reduced quality care for the dogs. The aim of this project is to help Homesland Animal Shelter. We raised funds and donated to the shelter for them to buy healthier food and medical care. We also sent volunteers to visit and help them clean and feed the dogs. We did this project in the span of 3 weeks, and in the first week, we went to visit the shelter and did a few volunteering activities. We first did the cleaning of the shelter, then we moved on to bathing the dogs. We had a dedicated area where we bathed the dogs, and it was a fun and enjoyable experience. The dogs were very happy to receive attention and love. Bathing the dogs also helped to keep them clean and healthy. We then moved on to preparing food for the dogs and feeding the dogs. It was a very fulfilling experience to see the dogs eat well and enjoy their meals. Finally, we get to spend time petting the dogs. This was a critical aspect of our volunteering as it provided the dogs with much needed attention and love. It was very heartwarming to see the dogs wag their tails and show affection to us. From this, we learned the importance of teamwork, dedication, and passion, and caring for the dogs' well-being. Our goal was to raise money for the dog shelter and to create awareness about their work. So in the second week of this project, we did a fundraising around the campus. We printed flyers like this and prepared a donation box. Engaging with students was a challenge. We had to find creative ways to grab their attention and get them interested in the cause. We did this by talking to them, showing them pictures of the dogs in the shelter, and highlighting the importance of animal welfare. And by the end of the day, we had collected a significant amount of money. We had raised about 800 ringgit. We felt really proud of what we had accomplished, and we hoped that the money that we had raised would make a difference in the lives of the dogs in the shelter. In our third week, we did an interview. We wanted to understand the challenges faced by the shelter and how they were managing to provide care for the dogs. We also wanted to know how the funds were raised would be used to benefit the dogs. When we arrived at the shelter, we were greeted by the person in charge who was happy to answer our questions. He explained to us the challenges they faced, including the lack of funds to buy quality dog food and medical care. He also talked about the need for more volunteers to help with the day-to-day activities at the shelter. We were impressed by the dedication and passion of the person in charge and his team. They were doing their best to provide care for the dogs with the limited resources they had. It was clear that the funds we had raised would make a big difference in their work. We then handed over the funds we had raised. It was a significant amount, and the person in charge was very grateful for our contribution. He assured us that the money would be used to buy better quality dog food and medical care for the dogs. Now here is a video of our activities there. Let's talk about the challenges we faced during this project. The first challenge was finding an NGO that matched our availability. We're a group of students with varying schedules, making it difficult to find a time that worked for everyone. Hence, we created a schedule that took into account everyone's availability and commit to volunteering on the chosen day. The second challenge was finding an NGO that was not too far away from our campus. We wanted to make sure that we could get to the shelter easily and not have to spend too much time traveling. To overcome this challenge, we researched shelters in our local area and chose one that was within a reasonable distance. Next, the NGO that we wanted to volunteer at had public posts and communications in Mandarin. Hence, we had to utilize the language skills of our Chinese teammates, who were able to translate the posts and communicate with the NGO on our behalf. Next up, the animal shelter we volunteered at had 200 dogs under their care, and with only 3 workers, there was a clear lack of manpower. So we sent 10 of our teammates to go volunteer and to help provide care for the dogs. And lastly, we faced the limited resources available to the animal shelter. They had a small budget, and to overcome this, we initiated a fundraising campaign to raise money to purchase food, medical supplies, and other necessities for the shelter. We learned a lot of lessons during this project, particularly with regard to planetary health. Firstly, SDG number 2, which aims to end hunger, achieve food security, and improve nutrition. We also saw firsthand the impact of providing dogs with healthy food, as they led to visible improvement in their physical condition. Secondly, SDG number 3, which aims to ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all. Our experience highlighted the importance of proper health care for the dogs. The next key lesson we learned was the importance of proper waste management. During our time at the shelter, we observed the large amount of waste that the dogs produce and how we can contribute to environmental pollution if not handled properly. Another important lesson we learned was the impact of education. Through our fundraising campaign, we were able to raise awareness about the importance of animal welfare and the impact of our actions on the planet. By educating people about the issues faced by the animal shelter and the steps they can make to make a difference, we hope to inspire more sustainable actions in the future. And finally, it taught us about the importance of collaboration and community involvement in achieving planetary health goals. We found that by working together with the animal shelter and the community, we were able to make a greater impact and promote a more sustainable future for all. Suggestions of improvements. Firstly, one way to improve the project is to start fundraising earlier. We should also consider using other fundraising methods such as online crowdfunding or a bake sale to attract more donors. Secondly, develop a more structured volunteering plan. This includes pre-arranging rules for the volunteers and take care of the dogs with proper procedures. Lastly, we should evaluate the impact of our project and learn from our experiences. This includes conducting a post-project evaluation, collecting feedback from volunteers and donors, and tracking improvements made in the animal shelter. Here are some words by Homesland Animal Shelter. That is all from us. Thank you so much for watching.